Good morning, students. Today we are going to study about the new chapter of geography, that is our changing earth. So in this chapter we will get the answers of so many questions that ever strike into your mind related to the changes that you have seen or related to the activities that you hear about that takes place on our planet earth due to some unknown forces and due to some unknown reasons. So you must be thinking about why these changes are taking place and how this happens. So these all are answered in this particular chapter that you will get to know when you will study it in a detailed manner. So as you know that our earth changes constantly, not only on the outside, not only on the surface, but also from the inside. And this change is constant. Yeah, the earth changes constantly. Rivers, lakes, islands, and mountains all come and go all the time. But it changes in a slow pace, and the rate is so slow that we hardly notice anything. So we will discuss all these things in the chapter inside. Let's begin this chapter. So this is an introduction. Lithospheric plates. What is lithospheric plates? The lithosphere is broken into a number of plates known as the lithospheric plates. And there are almost 20 lithospheric plates that they are of different sizes, and these are commonly known as tectonic plates. So you will be surprised to know. Yes, you will be surprised to know that these plates move around very slowly, just a few millimeters each year. This is because of the movement of the molten magma inside the earth. And all these plates are floating over this molten magma. The molten magma inside the earth moves in a circular manner, and the activity, the movement of these plates causes changes on the surface of the earth. The earth movements are divided on the basis of the forces which cause them. So we are talking about the forces, there are two kind of forces: endogenic forces and exogenic forces. But in this class we just take one of them. We will take up endogenic forces, and we will see the activities caused by these forces that further brings change on the surface of the earth. So what is endogenic force? The endogenic force is the force that act in the interior of the earth. Yes, the forces which act in the interior of the earth are called as endogenic forces. Now we will see what kind of activities this force performs. So endogenic forces sometimes produce sudden movements and at the other times produce slow movements. Sudden movements like earthquakes and volcanoes cause mass destruction over the surface of the earth. And we will now take up earthquakes and volcanoes one after one. So first we will see volcanoes. What are volcanoes? Volcano is actually a mountain or hill, typically conical and having a crater or vent through which the lava, the rock fragments, hot vapor and gases erupt. But how does this volcano takes place? How does this volcano actually emerge? So the volcano, when we are talking about the emergence of volcano, there is a activity, there is a exercise that helps this to come into existence. The earth's crust is cracked, and the pieces of the earth's crust formed by the cracks are called tectonic plates. And further, these tectonic plates are continually moving, and this movement helps to form volcanoes. Now we will see the volcanoes picture, and we will understand the entire volcanic eruption activity with the help of these. these many words, these many vocabularies. This will help us to understand the volcanic eruption in a better way. So, first of all, what we have to know, we got to know what volcano is and how does this take place, means how does this emerge, what is the origin of the volcano. Now, we will talk about the entire process of volcanic eruption. See, as you can see in the picture, deep inside, it is, as you know, that the volcanic eruption is a result of endogenic forces. So, deep inside the Earth's crust, in the core, heat is generated. The heat is transferred upward to the mantle, causing it to slowly circulate. And this vent, the yellow pipe-like structure, is actually helping the molten magma traveling upwards to the crust, traveling upwards to the lithosphere. So this movement of the lava applies force on the lithospheric plates above. These plates keep shifting and sliding at a very slow pace of a few millimeters in a year and in different direction. They don't move in a similar direction, but they keep on moving in different directions. And this movement of the plates is called tectonic activity or plate tectonics. So this vent is actually allowing the molten magma to come upward to the lithospheric plate, and when the molten magma travels through this pipe-like structure, suddenly it erupts from this crater, and this crater is actually the mouth of the volcano, and where the molten magma erupts from the crater of the the crater of the volcano, it suddenly start covering the lithospheric plate over the surface of the earth. The molten magma starts spreading over the surface of the earth, and by the time it gets cooler and take a shape of hill-like structure. Something else comes with this volcanic eruption, the clouds. The clouds are not related, are actually different from the clouds that we see over the sky in our daily life. That is really very different from that, and this cloud carries ashes, and that ashes results into the acid rain, and that is really very destructive to the entire nature. So this was all about the volcanoes and the volcanic eruption. Now we will move further to the next activity, next activity, that is earthquake. Now we will see what earthquake is. Okay, now here, when the lithospheric plates move, the surface of the earth vibrates, and the vibrations can travel all around the earth. These vibrations are called earthquakes. Okay, so this vibration known as earthquake, the place in the earth crust where the movement starts is called the focus. And what focus is, we will take up it in a detailed manner. What focus is? So the focus is the point of origin of the earthquake. Yes, this is the point of the origin of the earthquake. Now moving towards the next, that is epicenter. The place on the surface above the focus is called the epicenter. Vibrations travel outwards from the epicenter as waves. There are three kinds of waves: L waves, P waves and S waves. So greatest damage is usually closest to the epicenter, and the strength of the earthquake decreases away from the center. Now we will take up an image that will help us to understand this earthquake in a better way. Though you know earthquake is a natural calamity, we cannot stop it, but can minimize its impact by practicing some precautionary measures beforehand. And although earthquakes cannot be predicted, the impact can certainly be minimized if we are prepared beforehand. This is the only solution to combat the impact, the harm and the loss of earthquakes. Now, some common earthquake predictions methods adopted locally by people include studying animal behavior, fish in the ponds get agitated, and snakes come to the surface. Now, the strength and magnitude of an earthquake is measured on the Richter scale. An earthquake whose measurement is above 7 on the Richter scale can cause major damages. Now we will see this image, and this image will help us to understand it in a better way. As you can see, the red area is the focus area, and what we have discussed about the focus area, it is the point of origin of the earthquake. Sudden movement occurs deep below the crust or mantle, causing tectonic plates to move rigorously. Now, concentric shock waves generated from this point determines the extent of damage caused. Since the focus point is often deep below the surface, it is difficult to map. Yes, on the surface, it is really very difficult to map the the extent, not the extent, but the actual activity of deep inside in the focus area. So it is very difficult to measure it in the focus area. Now when this earthquake starts, it takes place, it happens, and it originates, the waves originates, it travels upwards to the epicenter. And what epicenter is? It is the point on the earth's surface which is directly above the focus. Yes, and it is directly above the focus, as you can see in the picture. So it is directly above the focus, and as we have discussed that the damage that earthquakes cause is completely dependent upon the extent, it is completely dependent upon the measurement of the waves that that further decides what can be the damage, what kind of damage and what amount of damage a particular earthquake can bring. So this was all about the chapter, not the chapter but the points of endogenic activities. What we have discussed today, we have discussed the endogenic activities, endogenic forces related to that. We have discussed two major activities, earthquakes and volcanoes. So that's all for today from my side. We will meet soon in the next class. Till then, thank you so much. Have a good day.